Digital Adventures. Today we're going to do a fun fireworks project that's going to allow us to learn how to build a custom block and see a couple of explosions on the screen. This just has two basic parts. It has a blob that's a sprite that's going to be used as a jumping off point, a black backdrop, but the thing that's going to be really interesting is how we go ahead and create our custom block for this project. So I'm going to show you how it works. So if I click the green flag, and then I press my space bar, you can see that you can do that there. If you press the down arrow, you press the up arrow. And what you'll notice in this project is that wherever I move my mouse pointer, that's where the fireworks spawns from. So let's go inside and let's see how to build this thing. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna clear out this code here so that we can get started fresh. So what we're gonna do is in our blob sprite, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with a when green flag clicked as we start every project. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go into looks and we're going to get a hide block so that that goes away. And what we're doing is we're building the foundation to allow us to get rid of this thing that we're going to spawn from. The next thing that we want to do is we want to get a repeat block, and we're going to have this repeat 30 times. And then the thing that we're going to repeat is that we wanted to create a clone of itself. So we're going to go in here, we're going to do create clone of myself. And now what that's going to do is that's going to start spawning these clones. The next thing that we're going to do is we want to create that variable, right? We want to create that new block. So we're going to go in here, we're going to click on create a block. So it already has a block name, but we're going to add 4 inputs and a Boolean input. So 4 of these are going to be a number, and the other is going to be a sensing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to add that input on the end. So what we're going to input here is min direction, max direction, colorizer, speed, and finally condition. And we're going to make sure that we name this the fireworks block. And then what that's going to do is that's just going to pop that into our project here. So we're going to move this down a little bit so we can see it. The next thing that we're going to do is as we start to create these things, we want to make sure that we clear out anything that we created from a prior running of the project. So we're going to do a clear graphic effects, which is found in looks. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into control and we're going to grab an if-then conditional statement. Within that if-then conditional statement, what we're going to do is within our fireworks block, we're going to grab the condition and place it right between that if and the then. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go into motion and we're going to grab a point in direction block. That point in direction block is going to go right inside that conditional statement. And the thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that we go into operators and we're going to get a pick random. And the thing that we're going to put within that pick random is we want to be able to vary the max and the min direction. So we're going to grab that from the custom block above. We're going to do max direction, min direction. The next thing that we want to do is every time one of these fireworks spawns, we want it to go in the place where the mouse pointer is. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to motion and we're going to have it look for where the mouse pointer is. And so what we're going to do is we're going to grab a go to. It starts off as random position. We're going to change that drop down to mouse pointer. The next thing that we want to do is we now want to show it. So we're going to go into looks and we're going to grab a show block. The next thing that we want to do is we want to grab a repeat 30. So that's going to be in control. We're going to put that right beneath that show, but inside that conditional statement. We're going to change that to 30. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go into looks. And what we're looking for is the ability to change the color effect. That's going to go right inside that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to grab this once again from above, and we want to change the color effect by colorizer, which is part of the thing. And then what we want to do is we want to go into motion, and we're going to get a move 10 steps block. So we grab that over here, and we're going to drag this down right beneath here, but instead of being by move 10 steps, we want it to move by the speed that we have. So we're going to plug that in instead of the 10. The next thing that we want to do is we want to grab an if-then conditional statement, and we're going to put that right underneath that move block, inside the repeat block. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to look for the sensing block, and we want to know whether or not it's touching something. Mainly we want to know if it's touching the edge so that the firework can go away that we do that. So if it's ever touching the edge, what we're going to do is we're going to grab that, and then we're going to go into control, and we're going to look for the thing that says, it starts at stop all, but what we really wanted to do is stop the script. So once we do that, at the very end of this, we're going to grab a, let me move this over so we can see it a little better. At the very end of this, what we're going to do is we're going to put a hide block at the end. So once again, that's in the looks. We're going to put a hide block in there. And now we've really defined that. However, if you remember from when we started, we created a clone. We have to do something with that clone now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into control, and we're going to look for when I start as a clone, and we're going to build out some code for that. So we're going to say when I start as a clone, we're going to do a couple things. We're going to grab a forever block, and within that forever block, what we're going to do is we're going to do, as you remember from the start, we had 3 different things that we did. When we pressed the space bar, when we pressed the up arrow and the down arrow. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to my blocks, and we're going to grab 3 of these firework blocks. 1, 2, 3. And of course, you can add more things if you want, but what we're going to do is that's the argument that we're using right now. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add some numbers to this. If you remember, the first number is for min direction, so we're going to change that to 0. The next direction we're going to change to 360. So that means that we're going to have a 360 field of view for this first one. The next thing is colorizer. We're going to have that go by 20, and then the next is 15. And remember, we want this to be activated by when we press the space bar. So we're going to go into sensing, and we're going to get a key space pressed. We're going to leave that as key space pressed, and then we're going to do the next one. We're going to do this to be a range of 90 to 270. So it's going to be a little narrow. It's not going to be that 360. It's going to be more of a half circle. We're going to have this vary by 25 and the other vary by 15. We're going to grab another key space block, and we're going to change this to an up arrow. And then we're going to do another one that is going to be yet again a different sort of range, 270 to 180. We're going to change that colorizer by 30 and this speed by 10. We're going to grab another key space pressed, and we're going to change that to a down arrow. So let me move this because this is sort of overriding the other code. And now we can see the 3 different blocks that we have. So now if we click on full screen, we click on the green flag, and what we're going to see is when we press that space bar, we see that 360-degree view. When we press the up arrow, we see more of the half circle. And then when we press the right arrow, we see more of that quarter circle. So we can move the mouse around, we press the space bar, and we're going to see our fireworks sort of spawn at different areas. So this is our first sort of opportunity to have built a custom block out. It allows us to put different inputs in and activate them by doing a Boolean. In this case, our Boolean was an input of the space bar. So when it's not pressed, it's not working. When the up arrow is not pressed, it's not working. But when we press it, it starts to activate that. So I hope you enjoyed this project. And once again, for all of our projects, what we really want you to get into the mindset of is computational thinking. How do I get the computer to do something that I want? We hope that you'll follow us on YouTube. We hope that you'll subscribe to our channel, and we hope that you enjoy our videos. Leave a couple comments. Let us know how we're doing. What can we make better? What can we improve? Appreciate your time. Looking forward to